Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this emergency live broadcast. So I was going to go live later on tonight in the evening, but so much has happened the first half of the day that I just have to go live right now, because by the end of the day, I guarantee so much new things will happen that I won't be able to catch up with everything. Newsom is crying and complaining. Trump is in North Carolina helping the people. Then Fauci is screwed. He's going to prison. He's going to be held accountable. His taxpayer-funded security has been overturned. Also, House Republicans have introduced an amendment to allow Trump to run again and be able to serve 3 terms. Let's get right into it. So much is going on. But I think the biggest thing, especially if you're a Republican in California, Donald Trump has put a deal on the table to Newsom to clean up the elections and bring back one-day voting and voter ID in California. And we're going to get into all of that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Please smash that thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe. Have your bell notification buttons on. I bring you the latest breaking, most up-to-date political and geopolitical news. Also, leave me a comment. Where are you watching me from? Love each and every one of you. Let's jump right onto my Twitter page. By the way, if you're on Twitter, this is my Twitter page at @ANN_news92. Please go give me a follow there. We can interact. So first things first, breaking. President Donald Trump terminates Dr. Anthony Fauci's security detail. It was pulled last night. Fauci will now have to pay for his own security. We, the taxpayers, paid almost $50 million a year to protect Dr. Fauci and his family 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days out of the week. So here, I want to show you. Boom, here we go. While we're on the topic of California, so here's what Donald Trump said while he was in North Carolina today. He said, I made a proposal to Governor Newsom and the Democrats of California. The federal government will go into Los Angeles. We will rebuild everything. The federal government will fund rebuilding and raising up Los Angeles to glorious heights it's never seen before. We will take care of everything. We'll hire the construction workers. The federal government will pay for it. The state won't have to do anything. He said, but I have one condition. I want one-day voting and voter ID back in California because I believe your elections are corrupt. You don't know who's voting, how they're voting, where they're voting. Do that, and the federal government will rebuild your state. Let's listen to this.
You talked about conditions being placed on aid to California, voter ID, and the like. Are there any conditions that you're going to put on aid to North Carolina?
We're going to do a lot for North Carolina. They've been very slow. I don't know why it's been so bad. This has been one of the worst I've seen. Katrina, of course, was something that obviously that was a long time ago. That was not good. But this has been very slow. I don't know if that was for political reasons because they lost the state. Biden lost the state. Maybe he felt he doesn't care. Maybe there were other reasons. I don't know. But this has been very slow. By any standard, this has been very slow. And we're gonna make up for lost time.
No conditions you're going to push for aid.
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt. And we also want them to release the water. If they released the water, they wouldn't have had a problem. If they released the water when I told them to, because I told them to do it 7 years ago, if they would have done it, you wouldn't have had the problem.
We finally have a president that wants to fix, not just rebuild the buildings, but also fix other issues that he sees in a state. He says, release the water, voter ID. Those are my conditions. We are ready to give you everything. And here's, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you this clip. This is a Mexican influencer that I found last night on TikTok. So he's big on social media when it comes to, in Mexico. He's a Mexican American. He's a citizen, but he follows Mexican news, Mexican social media. And listen to what he has to say about what Mexicans who live in Mexico think about all these people coming back. This is shocking.
Did you know that when the Mexicans are deported from the United States and they go back to Mexico, they're going to get free rent and they're going to get free food? On Mexican state national news in Spanish in Mexico, they just announce, because they're ones that are being deported say they're broke, that they're going to get free rent, a place to live, and free food. And the locals are pissed. In the comments section, it blew up, and they let everybody know how they feel. They said, those are the criminals that went over there. Now they're going to come back and the crime's going to come back. And you're going to give them free rent and free food? What happened to all the money that they had over there when they were doing all of their social media saying, look at what I got with my little debit card? And they were buying all that stuff, eating shrimp and lobster all the time. And now they're coming back saying we broke, and the government's like, okay, we'll help you out so you can get back on your feet. And the locals are not having it. They don't want them to have all that. They don't want their tax dollars to go to them. They don't want to feed them. They don't want to house them. And they don't want the crime to come back. What the fuck? Yeah, that's what's happening in Mexico right now.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? So the Mexican government has said, whoever Trump deports back, we'll give you free rent, we'll give you free food, we'll help you. But the people that stayed in Mexico are like, no, they're criminals. They're going to come back and their crime rates are going to go up. And you're going to use our tax dollars to fund them and feed them and clothe them and house them. It's like, I guess Donald Trump was right when he said, look, the people that are coming in through the border are not the greatest people. These are people that even their own country doesn't want them. Pretty strange, huh? Let's continue. Now, from here, I'm going to take you to the Gateway Pundit. This is a very great article about House Republicans wanting to, they already proposed an amendment to allow Trump to run again. House Republican Andy Ogle proposes constitutional amendment to allow Trump a third term in office. Representative Andy Ogles, Republican from Tennessee, a steadfast ally of President Donald Trump, introduced a resolution on Thursday evening aimed at amending the United States Constitution to permit a president to serve 3 terms in office. This proposal, specifically tailored to enable former President Donald Trump to run for an additional term, seeks to adjust the current 2-term limit set by the 22nd Amendment. Here's why we even have it, which has been in place since its ratification in 1951. Before 1951, you could run 10 times and win 10 times. The 22nd Amendment was a response to Franklin Roosevelt's 4-term presidency, which ended with his death shortly after the start of his 4th term in 1945. This historic amendment has since dictated the tenure of United States presidents, ensuring a maximum of 2 terms in office. However, Representative Ogles believed that extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. So that is the representative right there who wants to do this. Now, my quick thoughts. I like it. But I think we should do something else. And I think if we do this, let me know in the comments. Do you agree? I think instead of, having Trump run a 3rd time, we need to have a new standard. I think we need to use these next 4 years to set a new standard for our nation, for our politicians, for our, future politicians, presidents, Congress, senators, right? Local leaders. We need to set a precedent that if you make a promise, you fulfill it. And we live by principles of America first. And we should teach our children to live by those principles so that we won't have any more corrupt Biden crime family politicians anywhere near governance ever again. But I don't know. Let me know. How do you guys feel about this? It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. Now, before we continue, just a huge 20-second shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patriot family-owned gold, silver, and precious metal IRA firm. Right here, I have a 1-ounce American Silver Eagle. Well, why gold and silver? Well, this is constitutional money. This is real money. And right now, when you look at gold and silver, it is a great time to get your hands on some gold and silver. They do IRAs, 401ks, cash, retirement plans. Also, when you call them, ask about the self-storage, IRA options, legally to store your own precious metals. Plus, the owner is my good friend. His name is Matthew Geiger. His number is 480-717-9081. When you call him, tell him Vlad sent you. Get free silver. Links down below in the description. Let's continue. Now, for the final story, I want to show you this. Do we all remember what happened when the hurricanes hit Florida, North Carolina? How we were shocked about how slow everything's happening, how people are not getting the help that they need, how there's all this confusion and chaos about why people are not getting what they need. Well, because it was DEI. It was racist Democrat leadership within FEMA that said, well, if somebody's got a, Trump flag or a Trump sign, do not help them. Well, we're putting a stop to that. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're pro Kamala, Obama, Osama, whatever, or a llama. Maybe you like a llama. I don't know. If you're an American citizen, if you live in the United States of America and disaster hits you, you will be getting help. Breaking: President Trump to sign an executive order to overhaul or eliminate corrupt FEMA. President Donald Trump has declared his intention to sign an executive order aimed at fundamentally reforming or potentially even dismantling the Federal Emergency Management Agency. During a visit to North Carolina, Trump criticized FEMA's performance, suggesting that disaster response responsibilities should be shifted to state governments. Yes, this proposal comes as Trump prepares to tour fire-ravaged neighborhoods in Los Angeles, California. Here's what I want to wrap it up with. Everything we talked about was great. It was amazing. But the most important thing, California. Ladies and gentlemen, if you live in California, or if you know somebody that lives in California, call them so that they do this. But if you're in California, you know someone who lives in California, call the governor's office. Call Governor Newsom's office and say, look, we heard that President Donald Trump said that the federal government is ready to come in and help California with everything that it needs. But he wants voter IDs, and be like, I agree. My entire family, we live in California and we want voter ID. Put pressure on Newsom. So if we do that, we can save California. And I believe the people of California are tired of the woke liberal mind virus that has taken over their state. It has taken over their politics. It has taken over their police. It has taken over their sheriff departments. It has taken over the governor, the house, the state house, the state senate. It's everywhere. It's woke. It's broke. The taxes are too high. This is what we need. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in California, get on that phone, call him, email him, put pressure on Gavin Newsom, on his neck, on his office. We need voter ID in California. With what we are seeing, the huge shift to the right nationwide, the state of Texas and the state of Florida are locked in Republican states for the next 7 to 10 elections at least. This is our chance to get California, and no Democrat will see the Oval Office for the next 50 years. And that would be a glorious miracle from above. But we need to do our own part. I'm gonna keep talking about this issue. Trump wants to rebuild California, wants to rebuild Los Angeles. He wants to make sure that there's water there so that these fires never happen again. And the federal government is going to pay for everything. There's just one condition: voter ID. Voter ID. That's it. And it's constitutional. Voter ID is constitutional. And what's crazy is that we even have to talk about this. Imagine how low our nation has gotten that we have to talk about, hey, if you want, you want help, bring back voter ID. Just do what the law tells you to do. One of the most shocking executive orders that Trump signed was that he had to sign an executive order that says the federal government only recognizes 2 genders, male and female. If you were to say this 30 years ago, hey, in 2025, the president of the United States is actually going to sign an order that says there's only 2 genders, people would go nuts. They'd go crazy. But now it's the norm. We're living in crazy land, la la land, cuckoo land. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is huge. Newsom, he had this crazy crying on liberal media. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Our elections are secure. Your elections are as secure as, the border was under Joe Biden. By the way, I want to show you something, what's happening at the border. Before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, before we end this, I want to show you some things that are going to make you really, really happy. Okay, where is it? Come on. Here, I'm going to pull it up for you. There we go. You're going to love this. So this is the United States Marines today showing up to the border. Can you imagine if you're an illegal immigrant and you're like walking up to the border, you want to break into the country, and that is what you see? Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines. So, one last thing. Let me get something off my chest, especially for some woke liberal. I hope there's at least one woke liberal who's like, Joe Biden's the greatest president we've ever had. Trump sucks. I hope you're watching me. Do you see what Trump did in 4 days? Donald Trump did more to secure the border in 4 days without Congress, without Senate. And he arrested and deported more illegal immigrants in 4 days than Joe Biden did in 4 years. In 4 days, Donald Trump did more to secure the border and to arrest and deport illegal immigrants. He did more than Joe Biden did in 4 days. Here's one more thing I want to show you from the official White House White House page. Let me see if I find it. I'll show you. The White House. Here's another. Watch this. Here's what else Trump is doing. By the way, when Joe Biden was saying, I need Congress. No, you don't. When you're the president, you have the power to declare emergencies, and you have the power of executive orders. Look at this. That's a Marine. This is the official White House Twitter page. The United States Marine Corps is on the border to assist CBP with the mission to secure America. Promises made, promises kept. Now, look at this. Here's another post from the Trump White House. Just as he promised, President Trump is sending a strong message to the world. Those who enter the United States illegally will face serious consequences. Do you see what that is in the background? That is a United States military transportation plane. Those things are huge. What are they doing? Deporting illegal immigrants. That's just one of the pictures, right? I believe there was a couple more. Well, they're archived down there. But what does that tell us? Joe Biden, when he was saying, Congress is stopping me from securing the border. Shut up, liar. You're the president of the United States. You have the power to declare an emergency and use executive order power to do anything you want. That's what Trump did. All he did was sign 2 executive orders. He declared an emergency at the southern border and signed one to secure the border. Boom, that's it. Mass deportation started. The border secure. That's it. It took him only 3 days, 2 strokes of a pen, and 3 days. Over 1,000 illegal immigrants have already been caught and deported. On the very first day, on the 20th, 309 illegal immigrants were caught. On the 20th. Trump was inaugurated at noon. So within the first 12 hours of his presidency, 309 illegal immigrants were apprehended, arrested, and deported out of the country. That right there is promises made, promises kept. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. And again, one last time, huge shout out to Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patriot-owned company. So if you're ever interested in precious metals, give them a call, 480-717-9081. Mention me. You will get free silver. Also, you will help the show continue to run. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. You know what it is. It's MAGA country.